Hi, this is Beastly Eel with Eel Talk. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the very first episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier. So, so much to talk about. As always, I'm going to talk about the episode as a whole, and then we're going to kind of discuss what I think is going to happen. So, the episode not kind of, it does begin in another nation with Falcon trying to stop a terrorist organization kidnapping some sort of captain. Um, It is actually the terrorist group we see in Winter Soldier. It's the Russians. The guy that fights Captain America, the Russian dude who does the flips and stuff, he was the leader of the terrorist group. And it's a great fight scene because it shows Falcon's abilities more so than we've seen in the past. We see him flying around, maneuvering better, a lot of, zipping through areas that he shouldn't be able to get into, which was nice to see. And I have to say, it was definitely a well executed scene because there was a lot of um, diving, flight suits, all that stuff. And it was nice. And there was a lot of fighting in the air, in the helicopters, all of it. Loved every second of it. He gets the captain safe before they enter, um, before they leave the border, which they're not allowed to go to. When he, lands and saves everybody, you, he goes down with one of his, I don't know, one of his squad mates, we'll say. I'm not quite sure the relationship. I'm assuming he's just the tech guy, but I don't know. It's kind of difficult to say because we really don't know much about them yet. And they're talking, and he's asking him questions about his Falcon suit and everything else, and Falcon doesn't really care. Doesn't want to talk about it much, and we see people remembering Falcon. And like, oh my gosh, it's the Avenger! Ah, all that, which was interesting to see. A lot of people happy that the blip happened. And again, for those of you who don't know what the blip is the snap that brought everybody back 5 years later. Unfortunately, as if time didn't pass, Falcon being one of them. So Falcon has to leave, and before he leaves, though, his his partner, we'll say for now, they're not really partners. His squad mate was telling him about this group called the Flag Smashers and how they think that it should go back to the way it was before the blip, where there were no borders really. And saying how there's a large group of people really thinking that now more than ever. And it's our first instance that we get to see kind of people not happy with the blip. I mean, we've seen chaos with the blip, things happening, people coming back randomly in places. I mean, we've seen that with Far From Home, we've seen it with WandaVision, and we're hearing people aren't happy about it. And this is the first instance we kind of see that. Little is said about the Flag Smashers after that for a while anyway. So Falcon leaves. He goes to a memorial service for Captain America. He says a spiel. And who we see there, which was interesting, was War Machine. Not expecting to see him in this show. Anyway, so Falcon gives up the shield and puts it into the Smithsonian Museum, whatever you want to call it. And he puts it with Captain America's suit. So after the memorial service, I guess is the best way to put it. War Machine and Falcon are talking, and you know, War Machine was asking him like, "Why did you take the mantle? I mean, people need Captain America. People need their Captain America." And Falcon's like, "No, We went 70 years without him. I think we can go more without him now. There doesn't need to be anybody else. And his speech was really about talking about, how it wasn't so much the shield, it was the man. It was the man behind the shield. And Falcon kind of leaves. I don't think War Machine was thrilled, but he was kind of like, yeah, I'm out. So then we see um, Winter Soldier attacking, and he takes out this, I'm assuming a terrorist, and we see an Asian man at the end. I didn't quite get why it was so important until later. But anyway, so he attacks, I'm assuming, some sort of Russian mob boss, whatever. Could even be a government official. Who knows? He kills them, and I imagine he kills this boy. Well, he's not really a boy, he's a man. And but we don't actually see him kill him. Turns out to be a nightmare that Bucky was having, and it terrified him. And then it starts with his therapy session. Apparently, he's in therapy, which makes 100% sense considering everything he's done. And he lies to his therapist, and she's not an idiot. She knows right away. She's military. I shouldn't say military. She's definitely some sort of branch for him. She's trying to help him out, and he's not. He doesn't want it. He really seems like he doesn't want it, and she's really trying to get him to understand that he's he's gotta he's gotta be able to play by the rules. He can't do certain things. So anyway, it flashes to a scene where he's getting revenge on somebody who he was taking control of her, and he made her get arrested. He didn't kill her or anything, but he can't break certain rules, do any illegal activity. Big thing, because he's been given a pardon. So she keeps telling him. So she wants to see his phone, which I find interesting. She takes his phone and she looks at it and she goes, "Seriously, only 10. You have less than 10 numbers, and Sam has been texting you, and you have not texted him back yet." Which shows that Sam's been trying to get into contact with him, and Winter Soldier wants nothing about it. So what we notice too in this scene is that he has a little black book um, of, I would imagine, all the people he's wronged, which is interesting. So anyway, he leaves his therapy session and he goes to meet up with lunch with this old Asian man, and they go to have lunch together. And the old Asian man convinces the waitress to go out with him that night. Or the next night, sorry, the next night, I apologize. And the old Asian man was not happy. I mean, the old Asian man was very happy that that happened. Bucky was not happy. Bucky hasn't dated apparently in a long time, apparently since the 40s, World War II. So we then see Sam Falcon at home with his sister. We get to see a picture of what his life was like um, before. So apparently his family were fishermen in some sort of capacity. They owned a boat. Sister had to take care of the boat, her and her two kids, and the house by herself for 5 years while her brother was, well, gone. So he doesn't want her to sell it. She wants to sell it. He doesn't want her to because it reminds him of his parents. It's the last thing he has. And it's a sibling fight. They're definitely fighting over the idea that she has had a lot of time to think about it. 5 years, and she's come to terms with it. He, unfortunately, has not had 5 years. He came back as if nothing happened. He doesn't want to get rid of it. So he tries to help. So they try to get a loan from the bank. And the bank is not helpful at all because he has no income from the last 5 years. Shocking. um, and the bank loan is declined. And he wants him to like the bank scene was so awful because the guy just wanted a picture with Falcon, and like because he was a hero and an Avenger, but he had no money, and he got nothing out of it. So his sister and him get into a fight after because he wants to continue to look for a loan, and she's like, "I'm done. I'm just done. I don't want to deal with it anymore." And they kind of let bygones be bygones, at least for that moment. Now, in another country, no idea. They said where, I don't remember. Um, the tech guy from the beginning of this episode comes in and he finds out where the flag smashers are. And he gets there and he's got a camera in his like little pocket right here to see everything. Plus he has his phone to figure out what's going on. This guy breaks through the wall with so much cash. They all have masks on. And he jumps down and he clearly has got some super strength and super durability because he's taking out people like it's nothing. So the guy tries to stop him. And what happens is he gets lifted up, slammed to the ground, and stomped on once, knocked him out. He sends the video to Sam. Sam reviews it and realizes, oh God, this guy's really strong. And he makes a mention to who he thinks it is, but never says the name, and it's very surprising to me. So anyway, that's the end of that little story. Um, we then have Bucky on the date with the girl, and it seems to be going well until she starts mentioning the old Asian man's son and how he really wishes he knew what happened, blah 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 blah. And Bucky just ups and leaves. He couldn't deal with it anymore, and he just leaves. And he goes to the old man's house, and he sees the picture of the son, which happens to be, now it makes sense, or at least at that point it made sense, that the picture of the guy was the guy who was killed, or we think was killed, in that scene that he had the nightmare in. Bucky gives him money, he just leaves. So the date went well and everything else, and he just leaves. And I think the old man knows clearly something wasn't right, and that the date did not go as well as planned. And he opens up his black book, and it's just the last name is still circled on top, which was, I believe, and I'm assuming because I never remember the old man's name, is the same last name he has. He's trying to right his wrongs. So now, episode ends with a very decent cliffhanger because the government announces that there is a new person taking on the mantle of Captain America. And this guy comes out dressed in Captain America's outfit and his shield. Falcon is not happy with that, but that's how the episode ends. Now, a lot has happened. The blip, people are not happy about because people were brought back and the world had to be as if the world was back to normal right away, and it couldn't. There are apparently groups that are so mad about it, they've turned into a terrorist group called the Flag Smashers, um, who we really haven't seen them. I mean, we saw them, but we don't know what they're doing. We know what we think they're doing. They want borders to be taken down and the world to be more united, just like it was before the blip. But I'm not quite sure how they're doing it. If you understand what I mean, it's kind of tough to figure out exactly what they're doing. I still think they're going to be the main bad group antagonists. I'm surprised to see because apparently the big strong guy is going to be the Flag Smasher, which fits the comic book correctly. And it's not going to be the girl like we thought, which is interesting, very interesting. Um, Not complaining though. I was just surprised. We have not seen Baron Zemo yet, which was surprising. I wasn't expecting to see Agent 13 yet. But what got me was Captain, I call him Captain America, and he's not. Falcon and Winter Soldier have not actually teamed up yet, which I thought was interesting. I thought they would have done that. So anyway, they haven't teamed up yet. So we have a new Captain America. So where I think it's going to go, I think Falcon is going to try to get Bucky to help him um, stop this new Captain America who should not be Captain America because Steve Rogers is the only Captain America. I think Falcon is going to have to fight this guy and he's going to have to take on the mantle himself so nobody else takes it, even though he doesn't think of himself as worthy. I think the Flag Smashers are going to become a bigger terrorist group, and I think the head mastermind of the whole thing is going to be Baron Zemo. Still think that's the case. Other than that, there's not much information on what could happen, really. Who knows? So, yeah. So, as always, if you like the content you see here, please like and subscribe below. I'm going to be doing an eel talk every episode, after every episode I watch. So that'll be fun. So for right now, this is Beastly Eel signing out. Thank you.